was an ambush.
How many did you save?
Just like a dream.
You did the only thing you could do. And you lost.
Like a dream.
Look, we're still in this thing,
The day you walked away.
but we have no idea what we're dealing with.
Unfortunately. Will you haunt me like a dream?
Things are getting worse around here, aren't they?
Boyd, we're out of food.
Too many things are changing. I have to remember
Remember what?
what's missing.
Nothing that I've been through is possible.
I think you're here for what's in the basement.
This place will not break us. We can still win. But the only way we go home is together.
Hello. Run, go! The game here is rigged. Why can't they leave us alone?
No matter what this place throws at us, we're gonna find our way home.
Everybody just talks about how afraid they are of dying. Well, I don't think that's the worst thing that can happen to you here.
Hello?
Like a dream.
Are you looking for these?
Into my life.
You can't save them all.
But things are really how they seem.
Welcome family, my name is Igor, welcome to the Geekademy channel, and I'm so excited I'm gonna be able to talk about one of my favorite TV shows of all time. From season 3 trailer was released a couple of days ago, and I did my best to prepare for you one of the most detailed, if not the most detailed analysis out there. So what are we going to discuss today? Who is going to die? Who is the body that Boyd and Jade are carrying there in the trailer? I think I have an answer for you. I also went through all of the scenes and I compared them to the scenes from previous 2 seasons, and I think I have a lot of interesting information for you. Now, if you're one of those viewers who just watch from, enjoy the show and expect for the next season, maybe you're not gonna enjoy this video too much because we're gonna go through every little detail. But if you're one of the crazies like me and you want to know everything about the show, you want to build some theories, you want to know every detail that you possibly missed, you and I are gonna be friends, I promise you that. So without further ado, let's dive into this trailer and try to understand everything that it gave us. Let's go. So, one of the biggest questions we have right now is who is going to die. The creators of the show already teased us and basically almost told us directly one of our main characters is going to die. Someone who has a POV, someone who we know. And our main suspects right now are Tabitha, Christy and Mrs. Liu, Kenny's mother. Why Tabitha? Maybe there is some kinda doppelganger body situation here. When you move from Thromville, your body stays there. It's not very likely, but I've seen this theory many times in the internet, so I'm gonna address it too. And Christy and Mrs. Liu are the most popular options out there, and I think I have an answer for you, but you'll have to be a little bit patient. We're gonna get to it. Now let's go through the trailer and try to connect the same scenes. Now I'm not going to analyze the trailer frame by frame. I actually want to build some scenes from the frames that the trailer gave us. And let's start with the beginning. Of course, we've seen Tabitha. She is outside, she somehow escaped Thromville and she's looking at a new city. We've seen this shot already in the end of season 2, this is the same shot, but this shot is different from what we've seen on season 2. If you compare it to season 2, you can see this is a different angle of the camera, so it's different. What it tells us is that this place and this moment is gonna be also shown to us in season 3, which means Tabitha's story in season 3 is gonna start from the same point where it ended in season 2. Now, if we move in forward, we can see that Tabitha is somewhere outside. My guess is a parking lot next to the hospital. She got out, she got signed out, and she feels a little bit lost. Obviously. Now, if you notice, she's wearing the same clothes she was wearing in season 2, which tells us that all of those theories that Fromwell is some kind of a simulation, or maybe it's some kind of astral spiritual world, are not exactly true, because if they were true, she wouldn't be able to take physical objects to the real world. Maybe there's also a theory about Tabitha not really escaping the simulation, just going to the second layer of it, but I think it's not very likely. It's already up to you whether to think like that or not. We'll move in forward and we can see that Tabitha is speaking to some kind of father, some kind of priest. She tells him that she cannot believe what happened to her, nobody will believe her, it's impossible what happened to her, and if you look at the priest, he looks very serious. I know priest, it's their job, but still, if you're gonna come to the priest and you're gonna tell them that you've seen aliens, he's probably gonna think you're a little bit cuckoo. And here he looks very serious, and it's obviously he's taking Tabitha's words seriously, and maybe he's gonna be the one who's gonna point Tabitha in the right direction, where to look, because she's obviously gonna look for Victor's siblings, Eloise and his mother. No, his mother died already, Eloise, his sister. And this is where she's gonna find her. I think this guy standing next to Tabitha and next to the bottle tree is Victor's father. I have my reasoning, I'm gonna explain to you in a couple of minutes, but first, bottle tree. I tried to zoom in, but the quality of the trailer is just 180p, so why not 4K? I don't understand. Maybe it's deliberate, so we're not gonna be able to find some small details, but I tried to zoom in on the bottles to check if there are notes inside with years written on them, and I couldn't understand. But anyway, maybe when Eloise escaped Fromwell, she wanted to come back and save Victor, and maybe even save her mother if she doesn't know that she died. And maybe she had a theory: if you put bottles like that on a tree, at some point they're gonna go and grow to the teleport tree like we've seen on season 2. It's just a theory, but it's something I think worth mentioning. Now we go into the interesting part. If you look at the pictures next to this guy, we can see Eloise, she's wearing her sweater, we can see some big family. Not very big, 2 kids, we see a guy who looks very much like the actor, we see a woman who looks a lot like Victor's mother from season 2. If you look at her hair, it's covering her forehead, just like on the image here, and we have 2 children, a boy and a girl. Surprisingly matches our children Victor and Eloise, so I'm pretty sure it's their family. Now, I've seen theories saying that this guy is maybe Eloise's husband and she died already, she passed away, because they are the similar age with Victor and he's not very likely to be his father. Now, the age of this actor is 72 years old, the age of the actor who plays Victor is 53 years old, and if we're talking about the 70s, it's pretty common to become a father when you're 19, but still, we're talking about cinema, we're talking about TV shows. They don't have to be 53 and 72 according to the storyline. Maybe he's 75 and Victor is 52, so it's already 23 year age difference, so it's pretty common and pretty understandable. I don't think it's Eloise's husband for another reason. If you come to somebody's place and you show him Victor's drawings and Eloise's drawings, the person who's most likely to respond to it is her father, who remembers what she was drawing when she was small, and not her husband. I think so. Tell me what do you think in comments, please. Now we're moving forward. We can see another image of brother and sister. We can see image of Eloise. This is most definitely her. If you look at the girl here from season 2, look at the sweater she's wearing. It's the same one. You can see the same drawings here. I'm gonna compare it to you right now on the screen. Even though the actresses are not exactly alike, but you know, children change pretty fast, and you can see this is the same clothes. So either it's Eloise who gave to her daughter the same sweater she was wearing in Fromwell, or it's the same person. and I think the second is more likely. Anyway, we're moving forward. This is the place, the basement. He's taking her in the trailer. He tells her, I think what you're looking for is in the basement. And we can see very similar drawings. We already seen something like this in this first 2 seasons. You can see 2 monsters or 2 Ankui children. They have blood in their eyes. We have those caves that Jade and Tabitha also have seen in season 2. You remember this place where they are holding Ankui children. They're held captive there. And also this guy. Who that? I don't know, but it looks a lot like a pilgrim. Someone who is dressed like that. I'm gonna put another couple of images here on the screen right now, so it's probably once again another nod to American history. We've seen it so many times in this show, so it's already undoubted that this is one of the main themes of this show. From is probably also referring to the idea, where did you come from? This is basically a Northern American history told through the lens of a horror mystical show. And it's quite interesting. Anyway, let's move forward. And the last drawing that we see in this basement is once again the Ankui children, almost 1-to-1 as we've seen in season 2. You can look at them holding hands, basically the same. And of course it's either Eloise's drawings or I don't know, somebody who's really familiar to her, because as we remember from season 2, we know that Eloise's mother and Victor's mother also have seen those Ankui children, just like Tabitha. Anyway, we finished with Tabitha. Let's move to Jade. Here he is in the bar. He's once again doing his symbol, the same symbol he's seen everywhere, and he's obsessed with it. He's just looking at it, and I think it's one of the early scenes because he's still wearing the shirt with the kittens that he was wearing in season 2. It's probably not that cold yet, and let's move forward. He's gonna see some weird vision. And it's gonna be pretty interesting, because here he's touching some kind of red boulder, which is obviously out of the place in this forest, and he's wearing a red beanie. This red beanie already made everyone crazy, me too. I still don't understand how this works, because here he is fighting this vision, this bearded guy from, once again, probably the Civil War era, and we can see here Jade is already without a head, and the head is next to him and it's moving. I'm gonna show you right now that it's moving. Who can it be? Of course, the poster tells us that it's probably Christy, but how her head moved from her head to Jade's, or vice versa, I have no clue. I don't know how to piece this puzzle. It doesn't seem likely. It's basically like, oh my god, the vision attacked you, here, take my head. Or, I don't know, you got cut, your leg got cut in the bear trap, take my head, it will help you. I cannot piece those things together, probably we don't have enough information, but you can say with certain certainty that it's Christy there next to Jade. Now we're moving forward. Once again, this is the same shot I was talking about. She got her leg trapped, her right leg trapped in the bear trap, and it's most likely her leg, because you can see she's the only one who's rocking socks like that. She's putting jeans inside her socks, and she's the only character. But we also had in season 1 when Fatima gave her clothes to the girl there that was killed, so there was already some mistaken identity about clothes there. It sounds unlikely that Christy was like, take my jeans and my socks and wear them just like me to get trapped in the bear trap. Probably not. Anyway, we're moving forward to the vision. We can see this guy, he's basically once again somewhere from the 18th century. He has the neckerchief, he has those trousers. We are talking about Jade here, so it's probably once again somewhere from Civil War. This guy gives me a vibe of some sailor or something like this, and once again, somebody who probably came to this place. The first settlers came by the sea, and as I told you already, we are talking here a lot about Northern American history, so it's most likely one of the sailors who were actually the first here in this area. This is my idea about it. Now, interesting moment, and I think a lot of you missed this. If you look closely, one of his eyes is injured, it's red, it has a scar, it's bleeding, and this theme is actually shown us so many times already in the TV show. For example, you remember this character? She got her eye bleeding, the same eye like this guy in the beginning of season 1 when the light bulbs were exploding there. And the monster here in the intro also have his eye bleeding. Now we have this monster bleeding from the other eye, and if you remember the drawing I showed you in the basement of Eloise's father, the two monsters or the two kids were bleeding, each one of them from a different eye. So this theme of bleeding from one eye, just one eye, is actually being shown to us more than 4 or 5 times already. So of course the showrunners are trying to tell us something with this detail. I don't know what exactly, but I want you to know this, because as soon as we're gonna get some information that will help us to piece the puzzle, it's gonna be obvious to us because we remember it. Now let's move forward. The guy is drinking something. Somebody told he's maybe trying to make a whistle, because some voodoo cultures were making whistles out of the skulls, and if you look at the skulls, it's pretty tiny. It can be a children's skull, as creepy as it sounds. But if you remember once again the end of season 2, the Ankui children around Jade, it gives a lot of vibes of sacrificial rituals, something like this. Sacrifice, after that you take skulls, bones, and do with them something creepy, I guess. Anyway, we're moving forward. The doll, I didn't know where to put it in the timeline, but I'm pretty sure it's connected to Jade. So far he was the only one who's seen the doll moves and doing some creepy shit like it's doing here. Let's go to Jim. Jin is having a similar moment like Kenny in season 2. He's in the same house. If you remember, in season 2 Matthew's house was crumbled and they went to live with Kenny and his mom and Jade, and he's getting a call. It's probably from Tabitha. I don't know why I think like that, but it kind of makes sense. I don't know. Tabitha is probably gonna do whatever she can to get in touch with her family, and maybe she's gonna find a way through this mystical whatever phone. Anyway, he's answering, and look at his scar. It looks pretty fresh. This is the scar he got once again from the house falling down on him. And if you compare it to the next shot, his scar is a little faded already, especially at this moment. It's already way wider, and I think this tells us that those scenes went chronologically in this order. Now let's talk about Kenny J. We have the call, we have the new place. So let's go to the new place. We can see that Kenny J, as I call them, Jim and Kenny, they are going through the forest. Probably they went to look for Tabitha, and they are getting stumbled because they are seeing some kind of weird scarecrows. I think it's some kind of talismans, similar to the talismans that Boyd found in the forest, and they're helping to protect this new place that Jim and Kenny find. This is, once again, if you look at this, 2 eyes, one of them is missing. Once again, the theme of one-eyed monster is coming back again. And I don't think that Kenny and Jim here are afraid of those puppets, if you're gonna call them. I think they are more terrified and curious about the new place they're found, but we're gonna get to it. Now, if you look at these shots, you can see that those dolls have nails in their head. Okay, those Ankui talismans, as I call them. I think, once again, look at the way they are positioned. It's like they are protecting those 2 houses. Okay, and a lot of information in the trailer showed us that maybe the talismans that Boyd brought already not working like they used to. So maybe it's gonna be a new tool for our characters to protect themselves. Now, if you look once again at those dolls, I tried to find something similar to this kind of dolls using nails, and the only thing I was able to find was Nkisin Kondi. This is a Congo culture, as per ChatGPT. I don't think it's somehow related. Maybe it was just a source of inspiration for those dolls. Now, as I told you, one of the most interesting things here is those 2 houses, and if we are looking at the poster, they're probably gonna be some kind of main event, otherwise they wouldn't be featured there. And if you remember second season, when Victor was saving Tabitha and Boyd, they went to this truck, and inside there was a map. And if you look at the map here, we can see our city from Villa, you can see the diner here, but here you can see houses very similar to what we have seen right now. Okay, if you look at those 2 and those 2, this is probably the place that Kenny and Jim have found. Now let's talk about Fatima Ellis. It's gonna be pretty short. She sees blood, she's bleeding from her mouth, something is happening to her teeth. Ellis is very worried about her, and she's like a vampire going out to him. Not too much information, but you know, Fatima wasn't able to get pregnant. She got pregnant. We have this theme of Adam and Eve in the show. You remember the drawing by Ellis. A lot of it tells us that maybe it's some kind of new population or something like this. This child is important, and it's probably important to monsters and other forces that are ruling this place. So probably Fatima is not gonna go through regular pregnant experience. She's probably gonna have something very weird, and it's gonna make Ellis worried and trying to do everything he can to help her. Anyway, let's move forward to Victor right now. Victor is digging stuff because it's Victor, wearing same shoes, same jeans, and probably doing the same thing he was doing in season 1. If you look at the notes he drew there, the trees and the amount of steps between the trees, the same papers he was holding in season 1 when he first met Ethan. This is some kind of continuation of what we have seen in season 1, which is interesting for me a lot. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure if you're still watching this video, for you too. Anyway, he's digging stuff because he wants to find something. As you remember, in season 2, he found a drawings of his sister, and he forgot a lot of things during this period he was living here. So probably has a lot of those stashes here in this area that have a lot of clues that will help us and our characters to maybe understand what the hell is happening to them. Anyway, he's also speaking to Sarah. There's probably gonna be a connection between them, something we haven't seen in first 2 seasons, and Sarah is asking him what you're trying to find, and he's telling her something that's missing. Okay, so Victor knows and remembers there is some kind of cycle timeline here in this place. He told in the beginning of season 1 it was a lot of time since 2 cars entered this place, so he remembers. Also in episode 4, I think, of season 1, he was digging graves because he was preparing for what's to come, which is the massacre at Colonial House. So Victor knows things, but he forgot a lot, and he's trying to understand what's missing, so to understand what to do next in order to help the people there. And what's exciting for me a lot is we're gonna see the boy in white, and we're gonna see the same vision from season 1. You remember this moment is one of the most interesting moments in the TV show, and we're gonna come back to it and probably get some more information that will help us to understand what the hell is the boy in white. Here he is doing some weird shit, a lot of bodies, bleeding, dead around, and he's like, yay, let's play. He's a weird guy. Anyway, I wanted to remind you about the scene. Victor's getting out, he's seen a lot of bodies, he's seen the boy in white. The boy in white is, you know, waving to him. There was a dog there. This is the moment we just seen in the trailer, the same wave, so it's the same moment, obviously. And after that, he is just telling Victor to follow him, and with the dog they're leaving to play in the playground, which is weird. Which is very weird. Anyway, I'm very excited about this moment, and I'm gonna expecting it, and I'm gonna analyze the shit out of it when it comes out. So let's pick up the end of season 2. Boyd got shot and in the arm. So in this shot, when he comes to Ethan, he's holding his hand. So it's probably still hurts a lot. So it's probably the day after season 2 ending, or maybe 2 days after. Ethan is probably sad because he doesn't know what happened to his mother, and Boyd is coming there to give him a couple of reassuring words. Same moment here, he's holding still his hand and he's speaking to Christy. It's probably the same day, the same night. He's talking also to Donna that tells him there's not much food, and if you look at his shirt here, it's yellowish. He has 2 shorts, yellow and white-ish. Also, we're gonna have a couple of shots on this trailer where under his jacket he's wearing some kind of fleece jacket or something like this, something warm basically, and you can see here that he's not wearing it. So once again, it's probably the same scene, the same day. He's in the same clothes. And this scene, I don't know where to put it, but I think it's Julie reacting to her mother disappearance. We didn't have her reaction in the end of season 2. Maybe this is somebody tells her that like after 2 days, 3 days, she didn't survive the night, she's probably dead. Anyway, once again, another shot of Fatima looking at the dead food. Nothing of interest here. Boyd giving his speech. Yeah, we can do it. Here he's trying to calm Randall down. He's telling him if we're gonna come out of this place, we're gonna do it together. Now this scene is pretty weird because Ethan with Julie opening the door for a monster, this grandma we've seen in season 1, the one that killed the girl Megan in first episode. Now it's kind of weird because they're both opening the door. Like if you're gonna watch this moment again, they were expecting someone and they open the door at night. This is super weird. The only reasoning for me here that comes to mind is that maybe the monsters can simulate voices of the people that are familiar to our characters. If you remember, once again, the grandma in the season 1, she was talking to this girl and made her think that she was her grandma. when Julie was seeing this guy in the beginning of episode 2 in season 1. She also looked at him like she knew him from somewhere. So maybe Grandma somehow simulated Tabitha's voice, and both Ethan and Julie believe that their mother is alive. They want to believe that, and maybe they just thought that it's her and they opened the door for her. I don't know, that's the only thing that comes to mind. Also, if you remember, when Father Katri was killed, he also heard some kind of childish voice before that from the monster, and he turned like he recognized this voice. So probably there was some kind of voice that Ethan and Julie thought it was Tabitha. This is the only thing that comes to my mind. If you have something in yours, please write in comments. Anyway, Julie escaped with Ethan and they are being saved by Sarah. She's holding Ethan so he won't scream, and we can see that she's still holding Ethan here, and she tells Julie to be quiet. So probably Sarah is gonna save them. Now, if we're gonna look at the map of Romville, next to the house of Mrs. Liu, there is a gas station and then there is a barn house. So I think this scene, the night one, is connected to this scene in gas station. We can see Mrs. Liu is terrified. Victor's here is holding a cow and he's pushing some cart forward, and in the next shot we can see the milkman is coming next to Jade. There is a cow between them and the milkman kills the cow, and Jade is terrified. This is one of the first clues that we're gonna lose Mrs. Liu, because of course killing a cow is terrible, especially for this place, but Jade's reaction is someone who lost someone close to him. He's terrified, he's shocked. The monster, his death, his potential death, stands next to him, 2 steps and you're gonna die, and Jade is in shock and awe. He completely cannot believe what happened right now. It's probably not because of the cow. As much as I like cows, as much as I love animals, it's probably not because of the cows. If a monster would kill a cow next to me, I would be running away. Usain Bolt wouldn't catch me there. But Jade is in shock and Victor is saving him. He's pulling him out of there, and I think it's because Jade just right now have seen that right next to the cow, Mrs. Liu was also murdered. Anyway, we can see the monsters here. You can see the cheerleader, the librarian lady, the weird head dude, and the nurse. And we're gonna see those monsters again in the night, but only 2 of them, which makes me think that the ambulance night and these nights are 2 different nights, and I have a lot of reasoning for that. Let's move forward, let's just analyze a little bit the cheerleader. She's wearing this kind of symbol logo, it's probably a fake one, even ChatGPT told me it's a fake one, but if you compare it to cheerleaders, you know, it's very similar to their standard symbolism, and if you look at their uniforms, the most similar I found was in 1970s, the same big letter here, the short skirt, and basically that's it. And of course 1970s is mentioned in The Lighthouse, and we know this is probably the period when Victor got trapped in this place. Once again, we're coming back to American history. Anyway, in the barn house, what's happening is that Boyd is being ambushed, like he said in the beginning of the trailer. We can see that the monsters that are fighting him are not the same that were outside. So basically we have the mechanic guy, we have the cowboy, and we have the weird bow tie guy, and they are struggling with Boyd. So they're struggle, and here in this moment you can see that they're ripping his shirt apart and it's bleeding, and this is why on the next day we see Boyd, his shirt is covered with blood. Now another thing that is interesting for me, and I cannot place it on the timeline, is the colony house, and we can see that it's being attacked, and this is one of the weirdest things once again. If Ethan there opened the door, why colony house is being attacked? No, Ethan can just go out and the monster gets in, but here looks like the talisman stopped to work. They are preparing for a fight. There's a guy there holding a rifle, this one is being attacked from outside, and I don't know, this is not some familiar character. Some of you say that it's Julie, this is definitely not Julie. And we can see here, according to the hair, it's black hair with a little bit of blonde, and who's gonna help her? Obviously the second nurse in this place. So this is the only time we see here Muriel, Christie's girlfriend, and that's it. She's the only main character in the colony house. So in the next shots, when Donna is gonna cry her heart out, maybe it's because colony house got wiped out. If not entirely, but for a lot of people. Anyway, let's move forward. We can see Elgin's vision. He is in the colony house. You can see this machine behind him. This is definitely colony house. Maybe he got this vision before the attack on the colony house. I don't know. If you remember in second season, he had like some kind of deja vu when Ellis was stabbed, and he knew exactly what to do. Like he already lived this moment. Like he already remembered this happening. And his eyes here is, he's not talking to anyone. He's not looking at anyone. This is the eyes of somebody who sees something that it's not out there. So he's having a vision, or he's having another one of those deja vus. So maybe he was foreseeing the attack on the colony house. Anyway, we're moving forward. Jade and Boyd are carrying a body. We have a disfigured leg there. It looks a lot like someone who was cut in the bear trap, but it's probably not Christy, because here it's a left leg and she was cut with her right leg. Also, those shoes are completely different. This body carries a white shoe and Christy was wearing brown blackish shoes out there. This is what we've seen in the teaser. This is the actual shot. We can see the cow here, it's dead. It's probably exactly after the night in the barn and the night where we see the attack in the gas station. And I think they are carrying Mrs. Liu and not Christy, and I have a couple of more clues about that. But meanwhile, let's move forward. Boyd is carrying some kind of body. It's probably, once again, most likely it's a female. Most of the men here in this place are kind of big. Okay, you're not gonna carry them like that. You're probably gonna carry them like a sack of potato, you know, through you on the shoulder. Here he's carrying it like that. It's a small body. It's probably female. Mrs. Liu is very small, and it's gonna be pretty easy to carry her like that. Also, Boyd and Donna have a conversation. Donna tells him, who did you try to save? Boyd probably couldn't save anyone according to his reaction, and Donna says, you did everything you could and you failed. So I don't know if she's trying to reassure him or if she's basically attacking him because of, once again, of his ideas to escape this place. We know Donna wants to, you know, accept this place and build a life here and die probably in this place, and Boyd is doing whatever he can to fight this place and to escape it. Anyway, we can see Victor is also looking at this shot. The snow is falling exactly like in the shot where they're carrying the cart, so it's probably the same scene. This is the scene from the teaser, just to compare. So right now, let's summarize the timeline. We have this night of attacking Julie and Ethan. We can probably connect it through the gas station and Mrs. Liu house that are next to each other. And Mrs. Liu is outside, probably because Ethan opened the door. She was maybe on the second floor and she had to escape because they opened the door and the monsters got in. And if we're connecting this to the gas station, the same thing happened here in the gas station. This is definitely it. The milkman is attacking Jade and Cow, the cow that Victor was taken with him in the scene with Mrs. Liu, and this tells us that the next day when they're carrying the car, this is the next day because of the dead cow. And once again, we can fill the blanks. Everything that happened in the barn and everything happened there is also here in the same period. We're just gonna fill the last one here, Victor watching them carrying the body. So this, what I think, is the timeline. Anyway, let's move forward. Kenny and some flowers. Okay, a lot of people thought it's because Christy was holding similar flowers in season 1, it's because she died. You know, Kenny is not a very lucky character. The two main suspects for being killed are Christy and his mother, one of the closest people here in this place. So otherwise, Kenny is fucked. Okay, it's either he loses his mom or he loses the love of his life. And we can see that he's probably not processing this loss very well. He's seeing the music box, it's glitching once again because the electricity works pretty weird in this place. I think it's because of the lighthouse, because every time the lighthouse uses this extra strong light that saved, for example, Jade in season 1, we see this glitch of electricity. And he's breaking this to pieces. I'm not 100% sure this is exactly the same day, because I tried to look at the window and understand if the snow is falling, just like when it was falling when Boyd was carrying the cart with the body, but it looks like there is no snow out there. Anyway, let's move forward, and this is, I think, the nail in the coffin. Sorry for bad pun here. That who dies in the end, it's Mrs. Liu. Let's look at the funeral scene. Okay, we can see that Kenny is sitting in the front row. He is the closest to the altar. Let's look at this, what they built here. There is a picture. You cannot understand whose picture is it because they didn't release the trailer in 4K, which they should. But if you look at it and compare it to the altar that Mrs. Liu built for her husband in season 1, this is basically the same. We have an image inside of a plate, we have 2 bouquet flowers on the sides, and we have 2 candlelights. Now, I think this is one of the biggest clues that we're gonna lose Mrs. Liu. Of course, you can argue that maybe she or maybe Kenny, during their tradition, actually built some kind of altar that is similar. I doubt it, but it can be. This is why I'm saying that it's not 100% proof, but it's 99% proof that Mrs. Liu is the one who's going to die during this night. But this night is not gonna be the only one for our family, because yeah, they're probably gonna have a very hard season next to them. Anyway, if you remember, I told you there are scenes where Boyd is already wearing something warm under his jacket, and if you zoom in here, you can see already it's not a white or yellow shirt. We can see something dark here under his jacket, so it's probably this fleece coat that I told you about. Moving forward, here he's wearing this, he's trying to calm Donna, and Donna is completely broken. We haven't seen Donna like this, not even close. She was pretty angry when the colonial house was attacked and this guy killed himself, but she wasn't crying her eyes out. Seeing Donna being broken here is devastating. She's one of the strongest characters out there. She's, you know, she's metal, and seeing her crying like that, it means that this place is finally achieving what it wants to achieve. It wants to break our characters, it wants to break Boyd, it wants to break Donna, it wants to break everyone. It feeds on hope and it feeds on desperation. We're moving forward, we have this shot with Christy. I don't know where to place it. I have no idea. She's basically looking at someone and she's in the diner. That's the only thing I can tell about this scene. We can see Boyd here is doing his routine. He's trying to warn everyone that it's getting darker, and he's wearing this under his jacket, something warm. I don't know how it's called, forgive me, as you can probably guess already. English is not my main language, but you understand what I'm talking about. This is the reference for me to actually put things on the timeline, put shots on the timeline and understand what scenes are connected to each other and what scenes are not. So here Jim tells Boyd it's probably gonna get worse. Boyd agrees, which means something bad already happened. And probably this is when Jim maybe is gonna decide to do something. Now they're showing us that Boyd is still not breaking. He gave a promise in the end of season 2, you're not gonna break us. And if you remember from the teaser, the cowboy was saying, you told us we're not gonna break you, that's what you said, or whatever he said there. And they're gonna do whatever they can to break Boyd, because he's the beacon of hope for this place. Randall here looks like in the bus, he's telling that people are here afraid to die, but there are much more scarier things, and this place probably have a lots of them. And I think it's right before the ambulance suddenly gets inside the city. He's probably making a lot of noise, and it's gonna draw a lot of attention. Because if we look at the shot, we can see the policewoman, she's trying to shoot the monsters. She's probably gonna be a new character, they put her in focus. I don't know if she's gonna get killed fast or not, but the actress is already featured on IMDb, she's probably not gonna be an episodic actress. I hope, at least. You can see in the left corner there is a body lying there. It's wearing a white shirt, similar to paramedic. You can see here something black. This is probably a badge or a patch of this ambulance unit. And you can see here that Randall is actually facing those monsters like I told you from the previous night. We have the librarian lady, we have the guy with the head, we have the nurse here, and we have the milkman. If you are thinking that this is all the same night, so milkman can teleport because they are on the completely opposite points of the city. If you're gonna look at the map, you can see that the church is on the one side of the city and the barn is on the other. So I'm pretty sure it's the next night, or maybe it's been a month since the death of Mrs. Liu, and once again something happening. You can see the body of the paramedic lying there. Once again the same body wearing the white shirt, and Randall showing he has the balls of steel because he don't want to escape, and he's holding some kind of bag. He probably went there to the ambulance to get something for him, some medicine or weapon or whatever it is. You can see here that he's holding this bag, and you can see here that he's already falling on the ground, and it looks like he feels those worms again from season 2. He's, you know, like trying to catch something on the body, even though there's probably nothing there. And we're moving forward to Boyd. He's trying to find keys for the car, maybe to save other people that got stuck outside, and the monsters are toying with him. They could have killed Boyd already many times. They could have killed him in the barn, they could have killed him when he killed Smiley, and right now once again she's like, you're looking for this, you're not gonna get them, we're gonna play with you and we're gonna break you. Here we can see that Boyd is grabbing his gun, and you can look at the image, you can assume that it's Knox County. And this is not my theory, I've seen it on Reddit somewhere. Somebody said that the place where Tabitha awakens looks a lot like a city in the Knox County. I don't know how it's connected, but I gotta tell it's pretty much for a coincidence, so maybe it is connected somehow. Anyway, they are trying to break Boyd, they are telling to him, you can't save them all, and we can see a look of desperation on Boyd's face. He doesn't know what to do already. This is not a face of someone who sees the light in the end of the tunnel. This is a face of someone who's almost completely broken. He doesn't understand what else he can do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, you can like, maybe subscribe. Please help me reach 1000 subscribers. And I also have some news for you. We have not much time. I was pretty sure that this season is gonna be aired somewhere in October, November. It's gonna be in the end of September. So I have only 2 months to go through all of the 20 episodes of season 1 and 2. And I wanna go through all of them and piece them together, try to find everything I maybe missed the first 3 or 4 times that I watched this show, and I want to share it with you. So if you want more from content, please consider to subscribe, it's gonna help me a lot. This channel is pretty small, and if it's gonna grow up with you, I'm gonna be a very happy tomato. Anyway, thank you and have a good one. Bye!